This demo will give a brief overview of some of the features and functions of QA Wizard Pro, cPine's automated functional and regression testing tool. QA Wizard Pro is part of cPine's application lifecycle management solution, which also includes Test Track, consisting of RM, requirements management, Pro, development workflow and issue management, and TCM, test case planning and tracking. cPine also offers a software configuration management tool, Surround SCM, as well. QA Wizard Pro integrates with Test Track and Surround SCM, and that integration will be demonstrated here. QA Wizard Pro enables you to perform functional and regression testing against web, window, and Java applications. You can also do web load testing and verify that your server can handle as many users as you need. It is ideal for testers of all skill levels. Those who are new to automated testing can use the grid view and the visual interface to add and modify their scripts. Those who want a more hands-on view can go into text view and interact directly with the script itself. The global repository enables testers to share application information and makes maintaining this information easy. QA Wizard Pro runs on Windows XP, Server 2003 and 2008, Vista, and Windows 7. Web application testing is available in Internet Explorer and Firefox. You can record in one and play back on the other as needed. The integrations with other cPine products include Test Track Pro, Test Track TCM, and Surround SCM. A list of supported technologies is also shown. What that means is if your application is created using standard versions of these technologies, QA Wizard Pro will be able to specifically identify different controls and perform high-level statements against them. If the controls have been modified or are not in the supported list, QA Wizard Pro will most likely identify them as generic controls. You can still interact with them, however, you will need to use low-level statements. QA Wizard Pro organizes scripts in areas called workspaces. The sample workspace is distributed with QA Wizard Pro and will be located under My Documents, QA Wizard Pro sample workspace on your machine where you have QA Wizard Pro installed. The sample workspace contains several scripts that work against sample applications and can be run to see how various functions are performed. Scripts are identified by the script icon. The additional green check mark you see is the source control icon, indicating that these scripts are in version control and gives some additional functionality. You can get the latest copy of your script, check in any changes that you've made, and so forth. The application repository can be either local or global. Local is specific to the machine that QA Wizard Pro is installed on. Global enables multiple testers to connect to it and share that information, and is recommended if you have more than one machine running QA Wizard Pro or have more than one tester using QA Wizard Pro. Application information is stored in here and divided into various windows based on predetermined search criteria. Controls are organized under that and are located using search criteria for each individual control. To record a new script, the quickest and easiest way is to click on the Record New Script button. If you've not added your application before, you click on the New button and add it then. You can then select your application name from the list. I'm going to record against WizzyCorp Login, which is a fictitious company, and this application is a web application that's going to allow me to log in and report a defect against a fictitious product. When I click on the Record button, QA Wizard Pro minimizes and the application is launched. For a web application, it will launch the default browser. For Windows and Java, it will launch the executable that you've specified. The recording dialog will also be launched. There are standard recording buttons. The comment button allows you to add a comment at any point in your script, and is also a good way to put a reminder in if you need notes about something. When you record, you simply interact with your application the way you would normally. You can move the recording dialog if it's in the way. You do not need to tab in between controls if you don't want to, as QA Wizard Pro is locating these controls by unique search criteria and does not need the cursor position to locate a control. Now I'm going to add a checkpoint. Checkpoint allows you to verify different aspects of your application. When you click on checkpoint, the recording dialog changes to adding checkpoint, and you can move your cursor around, and QA Wizard Pro will identify different controls that are seen. Once you have the control that you want with the red box around it, click, and the checkpoint dialog will appear. You have the option of recording a check exists, which just verifies that a particular control is there on playback, or a checkpoint, which allows you to verify a specific property about a control. Other types of checkpoints are available to be added once your script is created. You can also add these checkpoints to your script once it's created. Each control will have a variety of properties based on the control type. You can select the property that you want to verify, and the expected value will be filled in here. If you need to modify the expected value, you can do so. Since I can't change my application, I'm going to modify this and have my checkpoint fail. On playback, the expected value will be compared against the actual value in the application. If they match, the checkpoint will pass and execution will continue to the next step. If they fail, you need to specify a failure behavior. You can choose to either generate an error and stop the script for a more severe error, or if you just want to have a notification about it, you can select Generate Warning and continue playback. Another checkpoint will be added to the script. I can continue adding checkpoints, or I can come back and click on checkpoint again to go back to interacting with my application. I'm going to submit this, and all this does is echo back the information I've entered and generate a ticket number, which is always a W followed by 5 random numbers. I'm going to close my browser and stop recording. In the recording, a repository changes dialog box will appear. This will show me what changes are being made to the application. QA Wizard Pro is taking snapshots of the application each time you interact with it, and will show you those windows that it captured along with the controls organized underneath them. You can choose what controls get into the repository by selecting these options down here as needed. Click on Save to create your script. And here's the script that was just recorded. We are looking at this in grid view and shows you numbered steps, the action being performed, any information used in the action, and the control being acted upon. You'll also get to see the window that the control is organized under in the repository and the comment block that allows you to add comments to each individual step. The first step is a time date stamp. The second step is the set context and tells QA Wizard Pro where to find the application and version in the repository and allows you to distinguish between different versions. The run application launches the application itself. When I click on the first step to interact with the application, you'll notice that the preview window fills in. And what this is going to do is show you and give you an idea of how the script flows. Each control that you interact with will be highlighted by the red box. As you walk through the script, you'll notice that the preview image changes corresponding to the control that you're interacting with. If I want to change a value in a script, I can do so. I can right-click and select Edit Statement and put a new value in here. You can drag and drop to add new steps. You do have the ability to record into a script, but sometimes it's more convenient to come over to the preview window, click on the control that you want, and drag the mouse over. That will add the most common usage for that type of control, that statement that corresponds to that, to your script. For an edit box, it's setting text or typing text, and I can then come in and fill out the information, and the step is added to the script just as if it was recorded. You can also right-click on a script step and select Add Statement. That will bring up the entire list of statements that are available. There are a lot of them, and they are divided into categories. You can select the category that you want to locate your step, or if you know all or part of the statement, you can start typing it into the filter box, and the filter box will bring up matching statements. What I'm adding now is an add defect statement, and this supplies the integration between QA Wizard Pro and Test Track Pro. This allows your script to automatically create a defect in the Test Track project that you are connected to. And that step has been added. Ideally, you'll want to put this in a conditional statement so it's not executed each time and does not always submit and create a defect. I'm going to switch into text view now. It's the same script, just a different view. This is a more hands-on view. You can freeform type here. If you want to comment a statement, you can simply place a single quote in front of it and it will be commented out. You can also add statements. The add statement interface is available here if you want to go through that, or you can simply type directly in. I'm adding a print statement, which will write to the output window and also have that information included in the report that's generated. Okay, the script can be run in either view, and I'm going to play it back now. To do so, click on the green Run button. And it's simply echoing back the information that I entered before, including the new statement and the changes that I made. If your script fails for any reason or contains information or warning messages, they will appear down in the error box, the error tab beneath the script. The error box will list the description, the script name, and the line number that the error occurred on. In this particular case, the checkpoint that we recorded earlier failed because my expected value of X fill out all fields did not match the actual value of fill out all fields. So it flagged it and stopped my script. I can tell that the script stopped because I never got to the point where it was submitted. And you can see that the browser is still open. Each time you play back a script, you have the option of generating a report, which will be contained in the workspace under the Reports tab. The report will be organized under the script name, and if you double-click on that, it will open and show you the current report. Reports will contain information about the start and end time, the total number of warnings and failures, as well as information in the output window. That print statement I recorded, or added it actually after I recorded the script, now appears in the output window as well as in the report, giving me information about my script. Any information that's in the error tab will be echoed in the report, along with the line from the script that was affected. Additionally, anytime your script fails, you'll get a screen capture, allowing you to see the state of your application at the time of failure. The add defect statement that I added also created a new defect in the test track project. If you are connected to a test track project in QA Wizard Pro, you can come into View Defects and see a list of your defects, including the new one indicated by this icon here. If we open it, we'll see that it was created from QA Wizard Pro. When you're creating your scripts, typically what you will do is record an action that you're going to perform over and over again. I'm filling out this form. It's something that I may want to do over and over again. Additionally, I may also have data that I want to use to fill out the form. And typically that data will be in a database or spreadsheet. QA Wizard Pro can connect to those using something called an external data sheet. You can also create local data sheets where the information is stored within QA Wizard Pro. In this example, I'm going to demonstrate using a spreadsheet called WYSIWYG Bugs that's in the sample workspace. I'm going to use the data in here to drive the script. When you look at the data sheet, you'll see that you can have named columns, and it's a good idea to name those columns to map to your application. And what I'm going to do is create a data-driven script using this data here. It's just filling out the form. This is data I can use to fill out the form. The quickest and easiest way to do this is to use the data source dropdown. Each time you add a data sheet to your workspace, it will appear in the data source dropdown. You can come in and select the data sheet you want to work with. And once you've done that, you've created a link between your script and your data sheet. And that link will cause the script to execute once for each row of data defined in your data sheet. I have 3 rows of data, so this script would iterate 3 times. Now, what I also need to do is map the fields. If it just played back 3 times, it would be entering the data I already have here, but I want to use this information. I right-click on a step and select Edit Statement, and instead of selecting text here, I select Data Sheet. This allows me to choose a column that I want to read the information from, and instead of a hard-coded value, I now have this, which indicates use whatever is in the first name column where the record pointer is. And QA Wizard Pro will move the record pointer itself. I'm going to map a few more fields. You can map as many or as few as you want. And I'll do the product selection. We do have a product column. Any fields I don't map will obviously use the hard-coded value that's in there. And that's all that needs to be done to create a data-driven script. Before I run this, I'm going to comment out my add defect statement so it doesn't keep creating defects. And I'm also going to comment out my checkpoint so it doesn't cause the script to fail and stop. One final change I'm going to make, I'm running this in Firefox, and since it's going to keep closing and reopening the browser, I need to make sure there's a slight delay after the browser closes to give it time to completely shut down prior to reopening. And I'm going to add a delay statement, which will just pause for a brief time to allow that to happen. That's a 2-second delay. Time is in milliseconds. And I'll play the script back. And you can see it's reading in from the first row of the data sheet. Now there appears to be an issue here with whether the field could be reproduced. So I'm going to stop the script and add that statement in. Obviously that did not get recorded. And this is a combo box. And what I can do is specify an exact item, or I can come in and specify a value, an index of the item I want to select. So I'm going to say always select item 2. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll find out. And there's our first ticket number. QA Wizard Pro has shut down the browser and is going to relaunch it and run the script again with the second row of data. So this is a great way to create a data-driven script. If you do not want to loop through the entire script, it is going from top to bottom, and you only want to go through a portion of your script, you can use record set access commands in conjunction with looping controls to just loop through the steps that you want. Additionally, you can only connect to one data sheet at a time through the data source dropdown. If you want to connect to multiple, you can use record set access commands again. Those allow you to connect to as many data sources as you need. And if you look in the sample workspace, there are examples for both web and Windows applications for data-driven and record set access. Once you've got your script created the way you want it, you may wish to run it unattended. You can do so by creating a QA Wizard Pro batch script file. If you come up to batch, new batch, you'll be prompted to save your scripts, and you can then come in and add the scripts you want to use. You can choose to add a single script or multiple scripts, and if you have multiple scripts, you can choose the order in which they are executed. When you create your batch script file, it will be given an extension of QAWBATCH and can be run independently from the command line, similar to a DOS batch file. You can also run it at a scheduled time using the Windows Task Scheduler. If you have TestTrack TCM, which is cPine's test case management tool, you can actually attach this batch script file to a test case and use the TCM manager to launch and track results. I can come up to View Test Cases and actually do the attaching here. I need to run the script outside of QA Wizard Pro, though. And that would be all you need to do to add that to your test case. When you play back a script, you need to be aware of the fact that QA Wizard Pro needs mouse and keyboard control. So you may want to consider several options on the way of running your script. If you've got a long script that's going to run, it's going to tie up your machine. You can optionally run your script remotely and send it over to another machine that has QA Wizard Pro installed with a minimum of a runtime license. So that's one way of doing it. You can also use your batch files and schedule them for running at night. No matter how you decide to run them, you can monitor them using the QA Wizard Pro status tool. The status tool is available when you install QA Wizard Pro. It does not require a license and works via TCP/IP, and it's actually a dashboard monitor of the scripts you're running. You can see it's been tracking all the scripts that we have running here. It's going to provide you with a line-by-line listing of the steps that ran and of the steps that failed, along with a timestamp. So it's an ideal complement to the workspace report, which gives you the overall results. You can choose what machines to monitor by clicking on Manage Clients and adding any number of machines that you want to monitor, and the dashboard will flash and update in real time. What I'm going to do here, though, is clear out some of these steps and show you how you can save this information off. You can save the desired information off to a status tool file format to reload later. You can export it to a CSV file, or if you select Print Preview, you'll see that the nicely formatted report can be printed or exported to any one of these various formats. The status tool will also give you an indication by its color of the results of the scripts in your listing here. If it's green, it means all of them have passed. If it's red, it means they've all failed. If it's yellow, it means you have a mixture. That ends this brief overview of QA Wizard Pro's features and functions. I'm going to come back up and put up one more slide. We do offer full support during the evaluation period. If you have any questions during that time, please do not hesitate to contact us. Sales can be reached here, support here. If you've not downloaded yet, you can do so. It is a fully functional version of the software. You can do as much work as you want. If you decide to purchase, you won't lose any of that work you've done. You can simply paste in the full license and pick up where you left off.